Today is October 6th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today at the Big Book, we're going to continue our journey through Chapter 6 in action. We'll be reading page 84. Out of 12 and 12, we'll continue Step 12 by reading page 109. And we'll read today's 24 hours a day and daily reflection. Hope you all are doing well today, my friends. Once again, we've been given a brand new set of 24 hours, and that is always a blessing. So with that, let's get to the good stuff. Alright, so if you recall from yesterday's reading, and actually the last couple days reading, we've been talking about Step 9. And now we're about to dive into the 9-step promises, which are absolutely beautiful, and introducing Step 10. So we're starting at the bottom of 83 and reading 84. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we'll be amazed before we're halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we've gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. This thought brings us to Step 10. Which suggests that we continue to take a personal inventory and continue to set right any new mistakes as we go along. We vigorously commence this way of living as we clean up the past. We have entered the world of the Spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. And when these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if we have harmed anyone. Then, we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. Love and tolerance of others is our code. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps, we try to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. Page 109. So practicing these steps, we had a spiritual awakening about which finally there was no question. Looking at those who were only beginning and still doubted themselves, the rest of us were able to see the changes setting in. From great numbers of such experiences, we could predict that the doubter, who still claimed that he hadn't got the spiritual angle, and who still considered his well-loved AA group the higher power, would presently love God and call him by name. Now, what about the rest of the 12th step? The wonderful energy it releases and the eager action by which it carries our message to the next suffering alcoholic, and which finally translates the 12 steps into action upon all our affairs, is the payoff, the magnificent reality of Alcoholics Anonymous. Even the newest of newcomers finds undreamed rewards as he tries to help his brother alcoholic, the one who is even blinder than he. This is indeed the kind of giving that actually demands nothing. He does not expect his brother sufferer to pay him or even to love him. And then he discovers that by the divine paradox of this kind of giving, he's found his own reward, whether his brother has yet received anything or not. His own character may still be gravely defective, but somehow knows that God has enabled him to make a mighty beginning. And he senses that he stands at the edge of new mysteries, joys, and experiences of which he had never even dreamed. "24 hours a day, October 6th. AA thought for the day. Is my desire to be a big shot in AA? Do I always want to be up front in the limelight? Do I feel that nobody else can do as good a job as I can? Or am I willing to take a seat in the back row once in a while and let somebody else carry the ball? Part of the effectiveness of any AA group is the development of new members to carry on, to take over from the older members. Am I reluctant to give up authority? Do I try to carry the load for the whole group? If so, I'm not being fair to the newer members. Do I realize that no one person is essential? Do I know that AA could carry on without me if it had to? Meditation for the day. The unseen God can help make us truly grateful and humble. Since we cannot see God, we must believe in Him without seeing. What we can see clearly is the change in a human being when he sincerely asks God for the strength to change. We should cling to faith in God and His power to change our ways. Our faith in an unseen God will be rewarded by a useful and serviceable life. God will not fail to show us the way that we should live, when in real gratitude and true humility, we turn to Him. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may believe that God can change me. I pray that I may always be willing to be changed for the better. Daily Reflection, October 6th. Facing ourselves. And fear says, you dare not look. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 49. How often I avoided a task in my drinking days just because it appeared so large. Is it any wonder, even if I had been sober for some time, that I will act that same way when faced with what appears to be a monumental job, such a searching and fearless moral inventory of myself? What I discover after I have arrived at the other side, when my inventory is completed, is that the illusion was greater than the reality. The fear of facing myself kept me at a standstill, and until I became willing to put pencil to paper, I was arresting my growth based on an intangible. All right, so about that last reading, a dear friend of mine, he always talked about fear and how it paralyzes us sometimes, and he said for him, fear was an acronym. Usually it was false evidence appearing real. And I can relate to what he was saying many times. I would build up these fears in my mind, and then when I would finally do something, I realized it was not near as scary as I thought. When I was a kid, I was deathly afraid of public speaking. I would get so nervous. As a matter of fact, I had a speech I had to give in 6th grade, and I was nervous leading up to it. And I built up all these fears. What if I fall, on my way to the podium? Because I had to speak to the whole school for 6th grade graduation. But I had also prepared each and every day for this speech, kind of getting ready for it. I'd never really done anything like this before. So I get up there, and even all these fears, they're whispering, oh man, you're going to mess up, you're going to do all these things. I got up there and I did it. And by the time I got up there and actually started speaking, I might have had a little bit of butterflies up there, but it was not near as bad as the fear, the anticipation leading up to it. And that's kind of been the same as my experience in the steps. I had all this fear of doing the inventory in the first place, writing everything down, I had all this fear of when I did my 5th step, what my trusted friend's reaction might be. And then I realized when it was done, that wasn't that scary at all. It was nothing like I had predicted it to be, anticipated it to be. And I ended up feeling so much better afterwards. So if any of you are doing the steps right now and you think, oh man, this is really scary, or this, I can't possibly shed light on this or that, please know that I've been there and I know how you feel, but it's not as scary as you might think. And when you go through with these steps, you'll be so thankful that you did these things. And the promises, they're just absolutely beautiful. I can read them every single day, and they're so true. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. We will know what serenity is, and we will know peace. This is after the 9th step, but I dare say I started feeling these things even before I did the 9th step. Speaking of fear of people and economic insecurity will leave us. Fear of people. For me, I was so fearful of people. I gave people way too much power. Because I'm a people pleaser, right? It makes me feel better knowing the people around me feel great. But the problem is I really can't change the way a lot of other people feel. And I think over time, in accepting that, I hate to say I care less and less what people feel, because that's not necessarily true. But I don't let it affect me in a negative way anymore. But I always want to try to be kind to others. It's not always easy, especially to people that I know are despitefully using me. But that's okay. We put it into practice, right? We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. I like it's somewhere on, I think, page 86, or it's coming up. When we're faced with a confrontation or something like that, or a situation we don't quite understand how to handle, we relax and take it easy. I just give it over to my higher power. I don't have to worry about it. Then I love this. We suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Now I could say all these things, pat myself on the back, and say, oh, good job, Rob. Look how much you've changed. But if I'm being honest, it wasn't me. It was for me doing these steps and my higher power just chiseling away at these defects that I've had all my life. And that, talking about step 10, that I can pick right back up daily. So just by reading these promises today, I'm reminded of how great these steps are. I'm reminded of how much I have changed. Glory to my higher power. But it's also a reminder of, hey, if I start doing these negative things again, I will lose all these things. It's a daily reprieve contingent upon the maintenance of my spiritual condition. But as always, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sect. I'm just a drunk. Grateful to be here and grateful that you're here with me. If you're sober today, my friend, you're a miracle. And I'm sure that those who love you are very proud of you. And if you are not sober today, my friend, you're a miracle as well, because you're alive. And you have the opportunity today, October 6th, to make a first step toward a new life. It all begins with a choice. Hope you have a great one, and if we're given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.